I thought about talking about, a lot of times I've been dealing with salespeople and sales teams, and dealing with CEOs and owners and all kinds of people for over 30 plus years. And the one thing that we always talk about, so I'm going to look a little bit here and I'm going to look a little bit there. And why buyers say no? Why do buyers say no? Why do buyers say no? That's a great question, right? So let's be real, right? Most people don't lose sales because the product is bad. I'm like looking, I feel like a schizophrenic here right now. Anyway, I'm here with you. So people don't lose sales because of that. Like I said, the product is bad. They lose because they're scared. And what are they scared of? They're scared of the buyer's fear, right? Your buyer has fear and you're scared about their fears. Is it making sense? So the buyer says, I need to think about it, and you freeze. You believe them. You believe their story. You believe that they're telling the truth. And you believe their fears. You own them. You take them on as your own. And you start doubting your own offer. You start doubting your own offer. You start backing away instead of leaning in. Is that making sense? Is that making sense? Is that making sense? Is that making sense? Okay, so instead of, backing, you lean in instead, okay? So, I think the truth is here is to understand that the objection, right? The objection isn't the enemy, right? I want you to get that. I got my little son in the background here. He just woke up from his nap. But anyway, so understand that the objection, right, is not the enemy. It's a flare from the buyer's and nervous system, right? Their nervous system is reacting. They're saying, hey, help me believe, help me trust, help me feel safe enough to say yes, right? They want to make a decision. They want to make a decision like you want to make a decision. And the moment you start doubting or worrying or fearing something, you stop making a decision, and you stop buying, you stop unselling yourself, right? So I want to break this down today for you. So I want you to be in control of this moment, the moment of the close, where you can stop chasing people and just start closing from certainty, right? I learned this many, many years ago, that certainty, right, is the state where the people with the most certainty, they are leading, they are the ones in charge. Because when you're leading from certainty, you're usually calm, you have no questions, no reservations, you are certain, you have conviction, you're relaxed. You just know, right? You feel competent, you feel professional. So you want to lead from certainty. So I spent over 30 plus years, right, working with sales teams, with coaches, with consultants, with lawyers, right? People that thought they had a marketing problem when they really had a communication problem. Got it? Right? They thought they had a marketing problem or a sales problem, but they really had a communication problem. So that's what we're going to talk about. And I've closed deals in boardrooms, over the phone, in DMs, with all kinds, right? With CEOs, with like anybody you can imagine, you name it, right? And so what I've learned from this, and that I think is very important, is that buyers don't say no because of you, right? They say no because of fear, right? Fear of making mistakes, fear of wasting time, fear of looking stupid, fear of being pressured, and fear of believing. You get that? Fear of believing, right? And they don't want to be let down again. And think about that. Where in your life, have you believed things that didn't go the way you wanted to go, and you stop believing? You stop believing that you could, find the love of your life. You stop believing that you could make the kind of income, the kind of money you want to make. You stop believing that you would get in that shape, get your body in the way you want it to be. You stop believing, in yourself, in the world, like whatever. You stop believing, and so those are kind of things you're fighting, right? And once you understand that, you can stop defending your offer, right? You stop defending your offer, and you start leading your buyer. You start leading your buyer to a great decision. And when I say great decision, it presupposes, just so we know, it presupposes that you are sold on your product, your service. your ideas, right? You are sold first. If you're not sold, then don't try to lead your buyer into buying, right? Then find something you believe in, find something you are sold on so that you can sell with certainty, with conviction and integrity, so you can be honest. Okay, sound good? Do we got a deal? Do we have a deal here? I want to know, right? I want to know. So, so here's what we're going to do in this session. I'm going to talk to you about what exactly is behind every no, so you identify what's behind it, and talk about how to communicate through fear, right? Through the fear. I'm not sure if I'm going to watch you there, if I'm going to watch you there, but I'm going to watch you everywhere. So anyway, so we're going to look at the communication and how to communicate through fear. We're going to talk about how to ask the hard questions that move people from the fear, from hesitation to decision, to certainty, to feeling comfortable, to feel trust with you. And I'm not here to make you a better salesperson. I'm actually here to make you unshakable in the close, because I've taught this for years. And what I say is that if you're not closing, you're just seducing, right? If you just, being in the seduction game, right? People get, intrigued and they get excited, but if you don't know how to close, you're not really going to serve the person. The person's not going to be served until you close, because at the moment you close the deal, now is the time you can actually be able to fulfill and help and provide a solution, provide the actual service, be of service. Got it? You got it? Got it? Got it? Okay, so we'll go 3 layers in here, okay? We're gonna go through the buyer's fears, which is the psychology under every objection, okay? And then we're gonna go through the communication, how to handle it without losing connection, and the hard questions. The hard questions, the ones that end excuses and expose the truth, okay? The hard questions are critical to actually help someone. And this is where most salespeople, and you may not call yourself a salesperson, you may be calling yourself a CEO. You may call yourself a business owner. You may call yourself an entrepreneur. You may call yourself a lawyer. You may call yourself, a electrician. You may call yourself a plumber. You may call yourself a musician. You may call yourself whatever you want. But at the end of the day, in order to have an exchange of money and be able to provide service, you are going to sell something, right? You're going to sell something. So we're going to talk about that. And the questions you want to ask are the difficult questions, the hard questions that challenge and support your buyer. Okay? So grab a notebook, and I'm going to ask my 8-month-old son here. Does the camera look good still? Because I moved it. Okay. So let's start with the buyer's fears. Let's understand the buyer's fears. Okay. Every objection is a fear in disguise. If you can name it, then you can neutralize it. If you can name the fear, you can neutralize it. That making sense? Okay. So fear number one. Let's talk about fear number one. And by the way, any fear that I share with you right now, I've had, you've had. There's no human being on the planet that hasn't had this fear at some time, some point. It could have been in a relationship. It could have been with your health. It could have been in business. It could have been with your money. It could have been in all kinds of ways, right? A physical fear, an emotional fear, a spiritual fear. It's a fear. And the first one that we can talk about today is wasting time. I feel that a lot. Like I feel like I'm wasting time, right? I want things to move. I don't want to waste my time. But let's take it from a different angle. Many people that you're trying to get as buyers, they've been on too many calls. They've been on the calls. They've had the meetings.
You have Marcia here. Marcia Armbruster.
Oh, Marcia, hello, hello.
She's asking to be with you in your life.
She's asking to be with me. Okay. I love to have you with me, Marcia.
They have to switch the camera. If it,
Huh?
they have to switch the camera on this one,
Switch the camera how?
like the other way around, so you can see her.
Oh, so I can see her. Okay, how do I do that now? Can I do that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try it. Hello, hello, Marcia. Am I switched already?
No, then they're gonna see me. No, I'm just watching. She's saying that.
Okay, okay, okay.
You said request.
Okay, okay. Well, let's have another conversation where you're actually joining me in this conversation. We'll have a fun conversation, okay? But anyways, we're talking about wasting time, right? And so, and we've heard, we've heard so many promises, right? You've been sold promises, and most people they don't want to sit in a 45-minute pitch that goes nowhere. So, right? Nobody wants to feel that they're wasting time. So you want to make sure that in your conversations, in your pitch, in your sales process, in your close, uh, you want to show them that this isn't a time drain. They're not wasting time with you, right? You're going to show them a time shortcut. You're going to remove friction. You're going to remove time from the equation. Yeah, right? You're going to remove that. You're going to go from thought to action, and you're going to help them. So see that. You're not selling more work. You're selling them less wasted effort, less wasted time. That's what you're selling. Okay? And that's your job to understand your product, your service so well that you can actually do that. Okay, fear number 2, making a mistake. Right? We all hate making mistakes. And this is the big one. It's a big one. Right? People don't fear loss, they fear regret. Right? Right? So they come to the 6-month mark or something, right? And they say, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have bought that. And your job is to replace fear with certainty.
Steve is here, and Marcia would love to join
Right?
another time.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Love it. I'll see you soon. Okay, so you understand, like what? So we go into that fear, and we want to remove that fear, right? We want to remove that fear with certainty. You want the people that you do business with, the people that are your buyers, you want them to know that with you, there's no time wasted, right? Are you with me? If you can do that with conviction and certainty, and you own that, you'll be fine, right? So your job is to explain, to educate, and to anchor them in logic and emotion. And because when you do that, when certainty rises, right? When certainty rises, fear dissipates, right? Like fear dies. When certainty goes up, fear goes down. Are you with me? Say that to yourself and write it down. Write down when certainty goes up, fear goes down. Okay? Got it? Okay, I hope this is valuable for you. Okay, fear number 3, the fear of being taken advantage of. Like, who here wants to be taken advantage of? I don't. Have you been taken advantage of in your life? Well, it depends on how you look at it, right? It's for a different conversation. I don't believe there are any victims. Okay, there are no victims. But as a sales professional, someone that's going to close deals and make money and provide solutions and serve people and be of service, then you don't want to waste people's time and you don't want to take advantage of people. Okay, so. But we all been burned before, right? We all been burned. We made the wrong choices. We bought the wrong system, the wrong course. We hired the wrong coach, the wrong consultant. So when they test you, because they will, because of those fears, right? Because of those fears, they will test you. They're not challenging you. What they're really saying is they're checking if they can trust you. Can I trust you? Will you burn me? Will you take advantage of me? Right? That's in the back of their head, right? So you are, therefore, helping them to close those fear loops. You're helping them to get certain that they can trust you, that you have ethics, that you are truth, you're trustworthy, and you're telling the truth at the best of your ability. Obviously, you can't promise someone to do something if they're not willing to do the work, right? Like I can give you all the systems in the world, but if you're not willing to do the work, then of course, then the money is not going to come, the sales are not going to come, right? If you're not able to pick up the phone and make a phone call, right? It's not going to happen. So we do have to give the buyer responsibility, right? Just like you are responsible. Yeah, my wife is giving me a thumbs up here. I love it. Okay, so. The antidote here is not hype. It's consistency. Consistently have a tone that stays calm, that stays certain, that you have conviction, that they feel it, right? So when you stay calm and you can relax, you are helping them to relax, right? Makes sense? I hope this makes sense to you. Okay, fear number four, the fear of looking bad. The fear of looking bad. Most of the time, fear of looking bad to others. But of course, right? Every buyer answers to someone. Do you agree? I mean, either you answer to a boss or a partner or a spouse or your kids, or your inner critic, right? Your inner critic. You answer to someone. So when they hesitate, when your buyer's hesitating, what they're thinking is, what if I look stupid? What if I say yes to this and I look stupid? What if I come home and my wife or my kids go, what the fuck did you just do? How could you have been so dumb, right? Or you come home and you're like, oh, why did I do that? How could I have been so stupid to do that? Why did I say yes to that, right? And all these things, right? So you want to help them see that this decision makes them look strategic, makes them be smart, feel smart, look smart. Like, you want to show them that this is an act of confidence, not risk, right? You want them to feel confident. You want them to feel that they're not making, this is not risky, it's like certainty, right? They're making a good choice, making a good decision, okay? Fear number five, and this one is a subtle one, okay? It's a little bit different. This one is about the fear of wasting your time. You want to say that again? Right? The buyer will have a fear of wasting your time. Are you with me? Okay? So when they have the fear of wasting your time, right? Sometimes the buyer actually, you know, believe it or not, they actually respect you, right? So they don't just think that they're that you're not worth it. They actually believe that they are not worth your time. That making sense? Looking over here. Okay, so you want to say it's saying you want to say this right away when you talk to someone after, in the conversation. Say, hey, my time is here for people who are serious, right? I only spend time with serious people, and it sounds like you are. It sounds like you are a serious person, and that will be a conversation that they will feel, oh, he believes in me, he trusts me, like he sees something in me that I'm sensing, right? But you want them to feel certain that you see that they are serious, and you say that, hey, I'm not going to waste my time. I only spend time with people that I believe are serious, and it sounds like you are, right? So they feel that certainty. uh, Fear number six, the fear of pressure and the fear of follow-up, right? What I'm saying that is that, we all have had people, we all been chased by bad salespeople, right? We're like, we start avoiding them, right? We start avoiding them because you're not adding value in the conversation, or they didn't add value in the conversation. You didn't feel inspired, or you don't feel like you have more enthusiasm, or you're not left feeling better after the conversation. Like you're left feeling worse. So, you know, when you're being chased by bad salespeople, you can expect manipulation, right? You can expect pressure. You can expect, like, cheesy comments. So you don't want to be that person, right? You want to be professional. So because of that, but you do need to understand that that fear is in the back of their mind. So instead of running away from the fear, like, meet them, right? You don't need pressure. You need presence, right? You need presence. Hey, tell them, hey, you probably met a lot of bad salespeople. You probably had things done that you regretted, and I get it. So you want to follow up, but not follow after. Okay, when I'm saying mean that you want to follow up with them, with the buyer, you don't want to you want to stay present in the conversation. You don't want to you don't want to bail. You don't want to ghost them. You don't want to remove yourself, but you want to move with certainty, right? You want to move with certainty, and you want to move with that directness. So they start leaning when you do that. They start leaning in, right? They feel like you actually hear them, that you see them, you understand them, you know where they've been because you've been there, right? You've been there. You've been hunted by by the bad salesperson, right? Okay, so, okay, anyway, I hope you understand these are the kind of fears. We talked about these fears right now. Let's talk about how to handle the objections. That's how to handle the objections with these buyers. Okay, so here's the rules. Objection is not rejection, right? Objections are not rejections. You got it? Objection is not rejection. So I want you to understand that they are requests for reassurance. Objections are requests for reassurance. I know I may be like trying to let it. I'm trying to let it land with you, let it sink in. Sometimes when I think about it, okay, requests are uh, the objections are they're requests for reassurance. Reassurance for what? That they're making a good decision, that you're going to take care of them, that they can trust you, that they're not going to make a mistake, that they're not going to look stupid, right? They want to be reassured. They want to have certainty. I'm going back to the word certainty, right? And that's your job. Bring them the certainty. Bring it on. Bring certainty to the table. So when a buyer says, I need to think about it, what that really means is, I don't feel safe enough to decide right now. And so you get to unravel all those fears, all those worries. That is the professional salesperson. When you can do that, when you can unravel those fears, wow, like you are amazing. You're like the highest level of therapist, the highest level of psychologist. You're the highest level. All right. And again, I'm not trying to make this difficult on you, but the more you pay attention, the better you're going to be. So stay in communication. Don't ghost them. Don't vanish. Say, hey, listen, I hear you. I respect that. Can I ask you, right? And here comes a hard question. Can I ask you, what's the real concern underneath that? Right? What's the real concern underneath that? Uh, that's a hard question. Like, what's the real concern? Because when someone says, I got to think about it, or I need time, or whatever, I got to talk to my spouse, whatever objection. When you hear that, and you like calmly just look at them, you're like, I hear you, I got it, I understand you. Listen, can I ask you, what is the real concern underneath that? And you listen. Let the silence do the work. Listen. Don't start babbling right after. Just listen. Be present. Okay? And when you think about hard questions, I want you to understand that the hard questions, they got to come from calmness. They got to come from curiosity. And why are they hard questions? Because you are challenging and you're supporting your buyer. You want to open them up to be real, to be authentic with you, to have a real conversation. And if you're not willing to ask the hard questions, which most salespeople don't, because they're so selfish. They're just thinking about themselves. They're selfish. They have their own fears, right? You're so afraid, so you don't ask the hard questions. So I'm going to give you a few examples of hard questions, right? A good hard question is there any reason at all that you would change your mind? So let's say they say, yeah, I want to do this. And you ask the question, is there any reason at all that you would change your mind? Because if it is, if there is a reason that you would change your mind, then don't do this. And then you may say, well, that's going to create uncertainty. That's going to create doubt. No, you want to be real here. Because if they are a clear yes with you, there's no reason. No, I'm not going to change my mind. I want this. I want to do this. Let's do this. Okay? So it's a great question, great hard question. And another great question is that, or hard question is that, why haven't you already done this? Why haven't you already done this? And we think about that. Why haven't you already done this? Then they start thinking about, yeah, what stopped them in the past? Why haven't they done it yet? Maybe they didn't find the right person to explain it for them. They didn't have the right person to share this moment with them. So that's the real reason why they haven't done it. Another reason, another question, hard question. Hey man, why do you doubt yourself so much? And it's a real question. Why do you doubt yourself so much? And so they may have had experiences in the past, they have had experience in the past when they bought a course, they bought a service, they bought they maybe got a coach or they didn't get the results they wanted. And so they had a bad experience, right? Maybe the coach did what they did and was a great coach, but they didn't follow through. So they have this memory in their head of not following through. I'll give you an example. Many years ago, I had a, I coached a lot of professional athletes, and I was working with a lot of tennis players. And these tennis players, they, obviously they're professional athletes, professional tennis players. And I thought, hey, I want to learn to play tennis. Um, so I went up and I bought like a really expensive tennis racket, and and I thought I'm gonna get a coach. And so I found like a real pro, like he trained like real professional tennis players, and so I talked to him. We said, let's do this, and it never happened, right? It never happened, uh, and the reason was because somewhere I wasn't really like wanting to take the time and energy and effort to actually learn to play tennis. So that racket was standing in the corner of my office, and I just could see it like getting dusty. And but that was one of the experiences, right? I was going about to buy something. I bought something. I bought the racket. I was going to buy the coaching. The coach was available, but I didn't follow through. And so there's moments, right? I've had moments when I didn't follow through. Or think about working out. How many times have you said to yourself that you're going to work out, you're going to start moving your body, and then you start, and it lasts for a day, or maybe a week, and then you stop, right? You did some push-ups, right? You did 20 push-ups, and then you're like, and then you get some pain, and you're like, I'll do it when the pain goes away, and you never start again. So we all have these moments where we have been not following through, so we doubt ourselves. So, when did you stop believing in yourself? That's also a great hard question. When did you stop believing in yourself? And now it's your job here, when you listen, is to helping get the answers out, and you be able to get them out of this. Hey, just because you didn't follow through in the past doesn't mean you're not going to follow through right now, right? Unless you live in the past, like, let's make a new decision. Why are you going to follow through this time? Why will you use this thing? Why will you be consistent, right? So that's good, great questions. And if you're selling something, that is more high end, like, have you ever invested $1 million before? Why would you invest it now? Why now? Why would you invest $1 million right now? So like you're asking these questions. What's your real concern? These are what's your real concern? Like dig deeper. Be willing to get the questions that you have not gotten answered yet, right? Um, Other than yourself, who needs to be involved here? Other than yourself, who needs to be involved? That's a great question, because sometimes you may think that you're a decision maker, right? And you're like, I'm the decision maker. Okay, great. But other than yourself, like you in order to close anything, you need to have a decision maker right there. And so the question is, in the conversation, in the beginning of the conversation, hey, other than yourself, who needs to be involved in this? Oh, it's just me. Really? Just you? I mean, nobody else? You don't care about anybody else's opinion? Nobody else that's going to influence your thoughts, your feelings? And some people go, yeah, I have a brother or a sister, or my wife, or my boss, or whatever, right? Somebody, my kids. I want to ask my kids, right? So there's somebody else that's going to be involved. And um, another question, which requires a lot of confidence, how would you justify this investment with yourself? How would you justify this? So if I'm selling a coaching program, I would go, hey, how would you justify this investment, right? It's $25,000, it's $45,000, it's $50,000, whatever that is, right? How would you justify this for yourself? And you ask that question. So you need to have real trust and confidence in what you are providing, that you are not afraid if they go, yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe it is not a good investment, or maybe I shouldn't do this, right? You can't be afraid of that. You got to be certain. You got to have confidence. So it's a great question. It's a hard question, but you need to be confident. That it requires someone with real confidence to ask that kind of question. Now the question is there any more reservations? Is there any stall? Is there any other reason to delay this? I need to say no. They go, okay, then let's do this. Let's go, right? You got to make sure that each of these questions, let You got to pause and you got to let it land. Let it land. Don't be afraid of the silence. Don't be uncomfortable, right? People respect people who are willing to ask what others won't. I'll say it again. People respect people who are willing to ask what others won't. And there's many reasons for that, but one of the main reasons that I believe is because when you ask the hard questions, you demonstrate that you care. You demonstrate that you're willing to spend time and you're willing to go places where others don't, right? You don't want to keep it on the surface, you want to go deep. Okay, so what are some of the most dangerous objections? Okay, uh, well, I think that there's one. There's one most dangerous objection. The one most dangerous objection is the one, right? The one that they never say, right? The quiet one, the hidden one, right? The one that is behind the polite, I got to think about it. I got to think about, okay, I understand. What's your concern? What do you got to think about? Let's think about it together, right? So, but that's the question. You want to understand what it is. That's the hidden concern. So ask directly. Ask directly. Make the hard question. What are you not telling me? Tell me. What are you not telling me? And be playful. Is it? Is it me? And if they go, no, it's not you. Would you tell me if it was? Right? Be willing to be playful. Go there. And is it the offer? Is it timing? Or is it fear? What are you afraid of? Are you afraid? What are you scared about? Um, this is where the real sales happen when you open up the conversation. Okay, so this is not going to happen in the pitch. It's going to happen in the truth. In the truth, that's where the real sales happens. Okay, so anyway, I hope this has been useful for you, valuable for you, and hey, I would love to know. Write it in the chat. Um, let me know what is your biggest objection that you get. Um, and one of the things that I love to do is to make sure that you write down all the objections. Write them all down. Have an objections journal. Write it down. And who is going to give you objections? Well, not only your buyers, you know, your spouse is going to give you objections. Your kids are going to give you objections. Your parents are going to give you objections. Your friends are going to give you objections. You're going to get objections everywhere. Write them down and understand. Become a master of how to be able to respond to them, how to handle them. Remember, objections is in the close. They are not the enemy, right? They are an invitation to listen, an invitation to be curious, right? And it's a proof that the buyer is still in the room with you. They're there. They're still thinking. They're still wondering. They're still deciding. They're still there worrying about something. And you got to be curious enough to find out what it is and handle it, right? Your job is not to overpower them, right? It's to guide them, right? Your job is not to overpower them, it's to guide them. Are you with me? So, because behind every objection is a person who wants to believe, who wants to trust. They just don't know how yet. May have forgotten about it. They don't remember it yet or anymore, right? Help them out. Get them there. So don't retreat. Stay connected. Ask the hard questions, right? Hold the silence. Lead with certainty. Are you with me? Are you following this? Okay? So that's how a professional close a deal. And, right? From power, not pressure. With calmness, with certainty. And if this resonated, if this made sense to you, if you want to master communication that converts, that leads people to a place where they feel great about their decisions and you feel great about decisions, without a bunch of you sitting there reading a script, like if you have a script, well, we all have scripts, right? We all have scripts in our heads, but you got to own it. You got to master. You got to breathe it. You got to make it yours. Own it. Own the script, and and you do that by understanding human behavior, by understanding them. And if this resonates with you, if you like this, please subscribe. There will be more great videos like this. I've decided that I'm on a commitment train and a commitment train to go live more often. I used to go live a lot, and now I'm going to go live more often. My commitment is to do every single week to go live in this kind of form, and also to be able to hang out with you more, to share this moment, and to make sure that I'm delivering value, and also getting your attention and giving you my attention. I'm going to be starting. I know we had somebody here earlier, right, Marcia? But I'm going to make sure that we can have it so that I'm going to be spending time answering questions. So you can bring your biggest challenging business, sales, marketing questions. Any questions about sales, about marketing, about operations, questions that will have you be more successful in your business, grow your business, and be able to provide immense value. And remember, right, the close isn't the end of the sale. It's just the beginning. It's where your leadership begins. It's where you start fulfilling on your service, fulfilling on your product, and solving problems. So go lead, go lead, go lead, go lead, go lead, go lead. See you. Bye bye.